I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to The Happiness Agenda. Glad to have you here today where we talk about things that are happy, people that will make you happy, and things that will help you find more happiness. And this is just one of those wonderful days where I have J.R. Davis on, and she's going to talk to us. She's actually an advocate for educating families about how money works. Money. Who likes to talk about money? You know what? Isn't that a taboo subject here in America? We don't want to talk about money. Your mom and dad didn't talk to you about money. It was none of your business. You got other people who are making money who won't share with you because they're afraid that who cares? It's money. We all need to learn more. And how do we do that? Well, let's consult an expert. Jean Rene, are you there?
Hi, Steve. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. Jean Rene, we've got you built up. I got you frozen on my screen. If you can hear me, go ahead and interrupt me. But I've got you frozen on my screen, so we'll see what we
Yeah,
can do.
I can hear
Yeah, there
you.
she is. Okay. And so what we wanted to do, John Renee and I had touched base a while ago, and I said she would be a perfect fit for my podcast. And that's because, as I said earlier, we struggle with money. Humans, Americans, struggle with money. When I was young, my mom and dad wouldn't talk to me about money. It was none of my business.
Yes.
When I got older, I had people who said they were making 18% of their money. We're playing poker. One of the guys, a millionaire already, is bragging about making 18% of his money last year. And I said, "Oh, tell me." And he wouldn't share because what if the thing goes bad? Then you'll blame him. I go, "Oh my God, Americans have no clue how to help each other when
Mhm.
it comes to money." So here's JR. So JR, what? Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your background. Just have 30 seconds so that we get a hint. And then, how did you get into being in the financial profession?
Okay. Well,
There she is.
it all started because I was a single parent. As I was saying, it all started because I was a single parent when I moved to Florida over 20 something years ago and living paycheck to paycheck, calling my parents, asking for money on occasion. And I had a friend introduce me to a company that actually educated folks about how money works. So I said, this is something that I need. I know a lot of single parents, and I need to learn more and become an advocate. And that's how it all began.
You know, isn't that the truth? We get a little bit, we get tidbits of people sharing stuff with us. I remember I was in my 50s when somebody told me about the rule of 72. Now, for those out there who don't know the rule of 72, you can go look it up. I can send you a white paper on it. But basically, it's how your interest can compound to make you rich. And that's why they say the rich get rich and the poor get poorer because they understand the rule of 72. And the rest of us sit around going,
So true.
yeah. So that's, when we talk about that, a tidbit of financial information helped me to start changing my
Exactly.
financial life when I was in my mid 50s. So if you can learn it earlier, or if you can learn it now, that'd be great. Right, JR?
That is so true, Steve. It's important that we learn these things now and early. I actually did a class where I was talking to children between the age of 5 to 12 and just teaching them about saving. And we have a lesson class that's advocate for, and I teach in this class. It's available for anyone, and folks can just look me up, and I'll be more than happy to help them. But that rule of 72 is definitely the trick. You must learn how money works, and that's the key. That's Einstein's eighth wonder, or I should say, he calls it the eighth wonder, the rule of
Really?
72.
I had not heard that before. That's interesting. I
Yes,
wish I wish somebody would have told
yes,
me that when I was Einstein's age. Oh, maybe
indeed.
not. But that's, and so when we talk,
You're aging yourself at this point.
oh, I think it's too late for that now. All right. Somebody said the other day, try dating yourself. Yeah, that's like dating yourself. I said, no, I tried that. That was boring. So, uh, but anyway, yeah, that's one of the challenges we face is um, that yeah, that we don't understand money. We don't like to admit that we don't know. Right? We don't know. We don't know. We don't like to admit to what we don't know. That's one of the greatest challenges. I
Yes,
coach small businesses. I
yes.
say, can I help you grow your business? And they go, I'm fine. I'm fine. And if they're fine making less than $100,000, great. I'm happy for them. But if you had somebody who could help you make more than $100,000, you'd certainly want to talk to them. You'd think you would talk to them. But most small businesses go, I'm fine, because we don't know what we don't know, and we're afraid to admit that we don't know. So that's
Definitely.
especially true with money, right?
Yes, it is. And I think that it's important, as you stated earlier, if we could learn when we're young. And then there are tools out there in the financial industry that can actually help you double your money over time. You can also, if you start your child years after birth, you can assist your child become a millionaire by the time they're 40, if not younger, if you use the tools properly. And I know there are folks out there who are like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. But I've seen it done. I've seen it done. And
Well,
I
isn't that
would
it? That's
not
the
back
dis
anything that I did not have proof that worked.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges is people say, "No, I don't believe you." You know, and that's because you didn't do it, you don't believe it, right? But what if somebody says, "I can help you, help your child be a millionaire by the time they're 40 or 50," and people go, "Nah, I'm not getting involved in that." And people do that, right?
And it's out there. Yes, they do. But ask Walt Disney, J.C. Penney, Ray Kroc, President Obama. He used the exact same tool. As a matter of fact, there was a question on the Florida Life, Health, and Variable Annuities exam regarding President Obama and the tool that he was using. And so, regarding the rule of 72, I just finished speaking to some young children, young girls. There's an IM special group at the church that I attend. And so I was explaining to them that starting early is the best thing to do when you're trying to build wealth. I was explaining to them about the rule of 72, and that actually shows you how long it will take for your money to double. So if you have $1 and you put it in the bank and you're waiting on that money to double into $2, depending on what the interest is, it's going to let you know how long. So just think about what is it, that 0.01% that banks are giving you on your checking account, even less on your savings, your CDs. And it doesn't matter. Go to the bank and ask them for their sheet that tells you what the interest rates are that they're providing you. And you'll see that sometimes it's going to take 72 years for your dollar to double, 144 years for your dollar to double. And I'm sorry, but nobody's living as long as Methuselah anymore.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
I talked to my parents about the $1 Million Baby program where you start now. Truthfully, I know we like our 529s and, we buy certain products and invest, and that's smart. I'm not saying not to do those things. What I am saying is if you're going to invest, make sure you have someone who has the knowledge to do so and to help you along the way. You have to be in a position where you can watch your money in the market. What do you think Warren Buffett is doing and Bill Gates? Those folks have people who are actually watching their money, letting them know what to do and how to do it. They don't just rely on their own knowledge. And it's a proven fact that, what's that figure? I want to say 79% more people who use a financial professional to help them get to their retirement goals retire with more. All righty.
Oh, cool.
So it's important.
79%.
Yes,
It
it's
is important.
important.
Most people don't understand, um, and, and I qualify. I always say, if you don't know personally a financial advisor, get to know one. Let me give you an example. I tell the story. My ex-wife married a stockbroker, and then he ended up becoming the manager of this house, right? And it's a very famous thing. But they were always going on cruises. And I mean, I was like, well, how do you guys keep going on cruises? Aren't they expensive? And they went, oh, we get them for free. I said, how do you get them for free? Well, my husband, qualifies for them at work. I went, and she said, well, go ask him about them. So I went and I said, so how does that work? And he said, well, a lot of these stock
Mm-hmm.
companies offer all these incentives. So if you sell this much of their stock, you get, a gold dog or something. And if you sell this much, you get a cruise. And if you sell this much, you go to Europe. And he said, I always sell enough of their stuff to go on my cruise. And I went, so how do you know if it's any good? He said, I don't care.
Exactly.
What?
No,
He said, I don't care. I sell
no.
enough to all my people. Then they can always divest of it later and get out of it. But I mean, this is a reputable brokerage house. And to me, that was not reputable. But that means other people are doing it too. So what we've got free, and,
Exactly.
and we use Edward Jones. What everybody else uses is up to you. But we get to know these people. It's like, hey, go have lunch or dinner with them. Make a connection with somebody who says, hey, I do this. I got a great friend now that my wife just invested a whole bunch of money with. That we met through my group Speaker Talks, which is getting on stage,
Mm-hmm.
promoting yourself as a success. He got on stage, talked about his financial acumen, and we were so impressed. I mean, we knew him a little bit before that. We were so impressed. We got to know him over the next year and started investing with him because we trust him, right? And now we're
Yes,
friends.
you
If
don't just
something goes
jump into it.
well, and if something goes wrong, you look at your friend and go, "What the heck?" Right? He wouldn't want that.
Exactly.
But if you're
Exactly.
just picking somebody out of the hat, oh, I think I'll use XYZ company or ABC company. You don't know who those people are. So when she's talking about investing money, um, obviously you need a professional. Get to
You
know a
do.
professional,
You
and
do.
then
And the
really
laws
start
have
investing.
changed now. The laws have changed now.
Oh, they won't
So
arrest me
instead
for.
of, oh, yeah, they're going to come and get you. But you were mentioning how that gentleman just put money anywhere and he was looking out for himself. Well, now you have to be a fiduciary, meaning it is your utmost and priority to do what is best for your client. So there are things out there that can protect you to ensure that that individual is not out there just to get your money. Because you see commercials on TV now where the client is saying, "Oh, you're just going to put my money in anything that's going to make you a big commission," and it's against the law. I'm not saying that there aren't unscrupulous people out there. I have a client now who's out in California, and she said to me, "Well, how do I know you're not a scam and things like that?" So we actually talked. Our first conversation, we were on the phone for over an hour, and I actually met her through Instagram. I had done a recording about single child homes. And I was talking about long term care. Now, long term care is usually the responsibility of the female in most households.
Probably.
And what I explained was it's not fair if you only have one child and you leave it up to that child to be the one to take care of you in your old age. Set up a long term care plan, have something in its
Ooh.
place. So someone sent that to her because she's a single parent. Her son's 20 something and what have you. But the bottom line is I sent over copies of my licenses. I sent my website. She can go to the Department of Insurance and look me up. You'll find there's no complaints on anything. I'm licensed in over 40 states, so I can help folks everywhere and anywhere. I actually work with a certified financial planner who overlooks everything prior to me even making a recommendation to someone, because we're all about tax consequences. You know, when you retire and you had $1 million, how much of that $1 million would you want to keep?
900,000.
Okay, so we're going to take you back to school and educate you. You're going to want to keep all of it. You don't want to
Oh,
give
all of it.
any of that
Okay.
money. Yeah, you don't want to give any of that money to Uncle Sugar. You want to keep every dime. So you need to put things in place that are going to be tax free in retirement.
Now,
Of course, you're
and
going to have
and
some stocks and bonds,
and
but you
let's
know,
talk about this. When she says, "Hey, when you get to retirement, how many people understand that you can safe keep all of the money?" We don't know that. You know, that's why I said nine
mm-hmm,
hundred thousand because I'm thinking, well, it's like the lottery, right? The government's going to take 50 or 60% no matter what you do. So, what's the big deal? And here, Jr. saying. You can keep it all if you invest with the right person who gives you the right strategies. Oh
that's
my
right.
gosh, think about that. I know nothing about money, right? Most people know nothing. And I'm asking my listeners, do you know anything about money? I mean, we all go, oh, I know this or I know that. Truthfully,
Mm-hmm,
you don't know anything about money. We're on this
mm-mm.
inflation kick right now. America is absolutely going to be going through the roof. We've got all these boats, whatever you call them, sitting offshore waiting for something.
Yes,
Who knows what they're waiting for? But all they're doing is saying, hey, you're not going to get all these goods, and we're going to drive the prices up. And so
that's
as
right.
inflation starts to eat us alive, you better have a strategy. And JR can help you with that, right? Other people can help you with that. But we're talking to
Yes.
JR. So, JR, when we talk about like today, when people go, yeah, but what do I do today? I mean, Grant, some people, I'm 40 years away from retiring. Well, I'm already retired, right? So it's like, I don't need help. Well, yeah, you still need help, right? Because I'm still making
Certainly.
money. But what do I do
Certainly.
right now to help myself?
Well, essentially, let's just say you don't want to come in and talk to a financial professional. Find out where your money is going. And what do I mean by that? You need a budget. I call it a spending plan. but you write everything down. Yeah, look at your eyes squinting. That's right. You write everything down. You write down your income and you look and see every dollar has to have a purpose. Every dollar has to have a purpose. And you can save on your own, but the thing is, do you know where to put your money for it to grow, for it to double? I'm not saying banks are bad, but I am saying that banks are not the ones to put your money in for your money to double. And do your research on your banks and find out where the banks have their money. Now, you put your money in the bank, they pay
Wait,
you that
banks
0.1%.
have money? Banks have money?
Mm, when I tell
Hey.
you, they're right up there with your wealthy, right up there with your wealthy. That's right.
And you're right.
And the
We
same
keep
thing the
giving them
wealthy are
money at
doing,
0.1%, and
and
then
they
they
turn
do
around
what?
and loan it out at 10, 15, 20%. So who's making the money? Not you,
No, not me.
not you. And they hold your check. You go drop a check in the bank for $1,000. They hold your check for $1,000, give you $100 of that money while they're steady making money off that 1,000. And they know
Yep.
they can deposit the entire dollar amount.
Yeah. That's it
So
is. It's
think
a
about it.
we're in a scam situation. We kind of
I didn't want to use
understand
those
that.
words.
Well, but most of us, I get to because I'm not the professional. Nobody can sue me, right? But that's the key, isn't it? I mean, I don't care which
Yes,
side you're
sir.
on of all this complete debate about politics, but leave politics out, and now let's talk about your finances. And you
That's
have to
right.
understand that no one is on your side. I mean,
That's
we have
right.
a few people like JR who we're working in the trenches to try and get you a little bit more money. We say a little bit more. Sometimes, it's how to double your money. Sometimes it's how to do this. I mean, that's why I, as a business coach and as a speaking coach, I tell you, I can help you make a lot more money. I just had my coach post on Facebook, hey, it's the invisible tax. And when he talks about the invisible tax, it's the inflation that's going to start
That's
eating at
right.
us. I
That's
got
right.
people here in my neighborhood who we buy. And when I bought my house, it was XYZ, and it's gone up 30% in 3 years. That's ten
Hmm.
percent growth a year. And you know what? A lot of the people are doing with their money. They're putting in swimming pools, right? And you're like, there's $75,000 for a swimming pool. Came out of the equity of their house, and you're like,
That's
what happens
ridiculous.
when the bottom drops again? Right?
That's
They're going to
right.
be sucking wind and losing their home. So when you have the opportunity to take your money, and what are some good places? I'll let Jr. take over. What are good places to put my money? I mean, you say, hey, I don't want to put it in the bank because there's no money there. So what do I do?
Exactly. One of my favorites is the IRC 7702, which is what many of your wealthy use. And I'm not going to
Wait,
go into great
IRC.
7702.
All right.
I'm not going to go into great detail, but suffice it to say that it is a beautiful product. You can withdraw money in the form of a loan to
Well, what is that?
yourself.
What is it? IRC 7702. What is it?
It's a tax code.
Oh,
It is a
okay.
tax code
All right.
that is just in the little fine print. And if you know how to use it, you can have your money tax free upon retirement. You
Wow.
can, well, I'll give you a live example. My mother moved from Texas to Florida and she was selling her second car. So I said, you know what? I'll buy the car from you. So instead of me going to the bank and taking out the couple of grand that she wanted, I actually made a phone call
Oh, so you're
and I
ripping off your
borrowed.
mom, not paying her enough. Is that what you're telling us?
Exactly, exactly. I actually made a phone call and I borrowed that money from myself.
So where is that money? I mean, you say borrow it from yourself. Where is it? Is it sitting in a bank?
No, it's sitting in an insurance product. I'll give
There
you
you
that
go.
much
Okay.
information.
All
It's
right.
sitting in an insurance product. All righty. I borrowed from myself. I gave my mom the cash. So now look at this. Having borrowed that money from myself, I'm paying myself back on a monthly basis. So in the end, not only do I have my money back, which is still growing, all
Mm-hmm.
righty, I have a car debt free, a good running car. As a matter of fact, I was in the car last night and I said to myself, man, I kind of like my little ride. It's not the Benz that I want and will eventually get, but priorities. I just
I,
need
I
something to
always
get me around.
I tell people all the time when you look back on your life. Now I don't know how old everybody is listening, but when you look back on your life and you think about your transportation, some of your best memories are the little teeny things that you drove and went,
Yes.
that is so fun. That was just so. My wife just asked
Yes.
me, she said, if you could pick out any car from the past that you could have, any car. And at first I said I had a 67 Chevy Impala convertible that was just a beast of a
Nice.
car, and then I went,
Yeah.
but you know what? I have the best memories out of my little Chevy 267 Chevy 2 Nova. And, it's
Oh,
so
wow.
when you think back, it's a little car, I mean, it's not a big,
Yes.
but I mean, so just to go back to what you're saying, the vehicle you're driving is not your dream car, but it can
No.
be a fun car. And that's what
Oh,
we
I
all
love
said.
it.
We all need to start learning first that we don't have to spend our money. Don't spend your
Mm-mm.
money, right? If you're
Mm-mm.
thinking of buying something, put your money into call
We're
JR.
such a
Matter of fact,
microwave
let's talk about this.
society.
How do we get in touch with you, JR? Do you have a website? Do you have
I
email?
do. I have a couple of websites. Some of the things that I do outside of helping folks double their money, debt resolution, teaching classes on how money works. And I actually bought my marketing tool. I have a book here. There you go. How Money Works. Let's fix this. Stop being a
Oh,
sucker.
stop being a sucker. I like that. Yeah,
Alrighty.
that is
So
so
think
cool.
about it. When you go
Where
to
do
the
I get that?
bank,
Is that at the Amazon?
Um, you can go on Amazon. Yes, on Amazon, it's about $15 to $17. Um, you can contact me, and maybe I'll send you a free one.
I need a free one. Don't
Yes,
spend your money anywhere. If they'll give you a free one, take a free one.
exactly. But think about it when you go to the bank. In that jar, what do they have? Dum dums,
Oh yeah. Oh
and that's what
yeah.
your bank thinks of you. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
what your bank thinks of you.
Thanks a lot, bank.
But this book has been on over 200 TV shows. CNBN, what is it? CNBC actually wrote an article up about the book.
Cool.
ABC, I mean, in all the states, the book has been traveling
Okay, but
around the country.
how do they get a hold of you? Where do they
But
go?
to get in touch with me, that was the question.
Yeah.
I love a quick text. It's much easier because I'm always talking or something. So my phone number, 813-810-0871. And my phone number is out there. It's all over Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's everywhere. Um, Website, it's kind of long. So just send me a text. That'd be the quickest and best way. Send me a text, or you can look me up on Facebook or Twitter or even LinkedIn. All the information is there to reach out to me. That would be the best thing to do. But a quick text works wonders. Fastest way. Yeah, fastest way.
Yeah. So if you're on the video, you'll see it scrolling underneath here now. Certainly reach out and get a hold of her. Leave her. If you text her, what's funny is as a communicator, one of the things I teach people about being more successful in business is learning what your client needs and wants. So when I teach people, you have to ask the question, hey, would you rather I contacted you by text, by email, by phone call? How do you want to be connected? Because everybody gets information differently and wants to. I remember
Very true.
5, 6 years ago, my son would text me something, and I'd go, oh, and I'd pick up the phone just to call him back and talk about it, and it would ring and ring and ring, and I'd go, so I'd text him back, go, what the hell? I just tried calling you. He says, Dad, I don't like talking on the phone. I was like, so you wouldn't pick up? He goes, just
Isn't that
text me.
something?
See, and I hate text, but you do what the other person wants, so we text a lot now. But yeah, find out what your
I
people
will
need and do it. So here
call.
she is, right here. Text her.
I will call, but send me a text first. Yeah. Yes, send me, and I don't have a problem calling you back. But the quickest reach me to say, hey, AR, I saw you on Steve Sapato's show. Please call me back. Boom. Or just put your number in there, and say book, and then I'll reach back out. I mean, there are
Yeah, that's cool.
communication, and I can give you that problem. If you want to call, I don't use the office that often, but give me 1 second and let me pull up the office number. And you can leave a message there for me as well, and I'll get that as well. So the office is
Cool.
going to be 813-628-4466. All righty.
628
And those of you
628
in Florida, my office is right there by
628 4466.
I-75.
You said 628
446.
4466.
Yes, the office.
Okay. And she says right there by 75. I've lived in Florida. I'm down here in Tampa also. I'm South Tampa, way down
That's correct.
uh, Apollo Beach. She
But
says right
the
off
office is right
75.
there in Brandon.
75 goes way just off 75. People say that to me all the time. They go, it's right off 75. I go, 75 is like 15, 20 miles long. Do I just get off every once in a while and look for you? But yeah, she knows. Obviously, you'd have to have her email. And that's one of the things here. So I'm going to ask you this question because it looks like she's frozen at the moment, which is this real simple question. When you want to go someplace, if I wanted to go to JR's office, what's one of the first things I do? I pull up my phone, right? I put in the address into my mapping program, and then I hit go. Why do I do that? And I do that because I want to know how to get there the fastest, safest, and best way. That's what JR and other financial professionals are offering, which is how do you get to your financial goals? Do you have financial goals? What's fascinating to me is most of us don't even think about 10 or 20 years down the road. I'm 72. And when I tell you, I'll somewhere my mom's still alive at 95. So I got to presume I'm going to live to 95. Financially, my wife's not going to want to take care of me while I'm waddling around, especially in a nursing home. So somewhere about 90, I will go into one of those places probably. But for the next 15 years, financially, how do I do what I'm doing and survive financially? How do I make it so that my wife doesn't have to worry about it? Those are the things we get to ask the people like JR to make sure, okay, to ensure that we know exactly what our future holds. Just like you pull up a map to see where you want to go, you need to have a financial plan to know where to go. So important that you need to understand that people like JR can help you. Okay, that's the key that we need to understand is that JR can help you. And we just passed on her phone number so that she could get in touch with you. But you text her at that number, which is 813-810-0871. I'll say it again for those of you who might be driving or might be wandering around. You need to get your ink pen to get in touch with JR and just ask her some financial questions, right? It's 813-810-0871. Doesn't look like she's going to be coming back on. She hasn't dropped off. And so as I look to see what she's doing, it's one of those deals where I'm hoping she kicks herself off and she comes back on because that's the technology of today says, hey, we might have to start over in terms of how we connect, right? That's important. So as we bring this to a close, I want you to understand that it's really important for your future, not for me. I don't get anything from you becoming financially successful. What I gain, just like for my speakers, right? Just for my speakers, when I teach them how to be great speakers, after they become speakers, a year with me, right? They drop $10,000, $12,000 to spend a year with me to learn how to be great speakers and presenters, how to not be boring, how to be more successful, right? And those are the things that I want you to understand is that when I send them off, they don't come back to me a year later, year and a half later, and say, "Hey, Steve, I made $200,000 this year. Here's your 10 or 20%." They don't do it. You see, they spent their money up front. And that's what we do is we need to figure out how to spend our money now. One of the great things, my son, who's in his 30s, not making huge money, he's not making three or $400,000, but has that kind of money tucked away probably, because at 16, 17, 18, he read the right books on financial investments, how to grow, how to build, all that kind of stuff. We don't know what we don't know, and so it's important that we understand that the financial situation we put ourselves in there, right, JR?
That's correct. If we do not make wise decisions today, you're going to have some problems later. The motto in our office is I will do today what others will not, so I can do tomorrow what others cannot. It's
Oh,
important
that's
that
a
you
great
start.
thing.
I don't care what age you
Great
are,
thing.
you start now. A little bit of savings, $5 a week, increase it to 10, 15, 20. It's a gradual process. But if you start when you're in your teens and your 20s and your 30s, great. When you get older, believe it or not, I'm 57 next month. But
Happy
when
birthday.
you get older, thank you, and you get to be in your 40s, mid 40s, and your 50s, you're going to have to be a whole lot more aggressive. What's your debt situation? Debt and taxes is what's going to kill your retirement. It's
You know,
Go ahead, because I'm thinking of a
you know
stat
what's
here.
what's interesting to me is I talk to people all the time, and JR and I have talked before, and I'm not a financial person, but I think people need to be more aware of their finances. So let me give you an
Yes, they
example.
do.
I know some people who have, they're young, they're in their 20s or late 20s, probably reaching 30 now, right? And they got children and they do
Mm-hmm.
all these things and they have all these toys. And I look back and I go, I did all that, right? They're living my lifestyle when I was 25, 30 years old.
Yes,
You know, I bought grandmother's clocks, grandfather's clocks, leather furniture, went to Europe. I
all of
mean,
that.
all that kind of stuff. And you know what? When I reached 50, I went, hey, I don't have any money. Hey, I don't
None.
have any money. And so what do I do now? And so then you say, I'm going to keep working. And at 60, you say, I don't have enough money. But what do I do
Mm-hmm.
now? And the answer is you keep working. But here's what, and this is what I find fascinating about most of us. Again, Americans who haven't been taught about money. I say to these people, hey, you know
It's a
what?
vicious
Instead
cycle.
of buying, yeah, instead of buying this brand new motor home that's going to cost you this, instead of buying all these this fancy stuff that you buy, all these toys, um, tickets to football, baseball, basketball games, you know, that cost a lot. Not just going to your kids. I'm talking about the pros, and they spend all this money because even down here in Florida, I thought about going to see a football and a hockey game, and tickets in the nosebleed section are like $150. You're like, no, not going to
Ridiculous.
go. Well, that's right, because you
No.
can watch it on TV most of the time and see a better
In
view.
the
But
comfort
what
of
I'm
your
saying is,
home.
that's right. What I'm saying is, when I say to them, hey, you know what? How would you like for your kids to reach 60 years old and be wealthy? And they look at me like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And I go, here's what it takes. Now, it takes you $100 a month. They go, well, we don't have an extra $100 a month. I go, what? Right? If they sold their motorhome or whatever, that you know, if they
That's
didn't buy
right.
the basketball jerseys, right, they would
That's
have
right.
easily an extra 100 a month. When they buy the toy, the kids go to the store and they go, "Oh, we'll get you this." There's $40 they spent that they didn't have to spend. So if now they got a couple kids, so that'd be $100 a month times two, $200. You think they don't have 200 extra dollars, and you're like, really?
Yes. Look
I
at
can
how you're
find it for you.
frivolously spending.
Oh, and well, I go back to when I
Eating
was.
out, fast
Oh
food.
yeah, when I was in my 40s, my wife, my second wife, and I had been wanting to go to Hawaii for 12 years, and a friend stopped over and said something about, "Hey, by the way, when you guys go to Hawaii?" Ooh, you know, that's a sore subject at that point in time. And we said we just can't afford it. And he said, "Of course you can afford it. You know, I don't know how much money you guys make, but I know you make enough." And it's like, "Nope, we don't make enough." And then he went on to break it down for us, and he said, first thing was, "How much does it cost to go to Hawaii?"
Right.
I don't know. He said, "What do you mean you don't know?"
How do you know
He
you can't
said,
afford it if you don't know?
"Well, because I know you can't afford it, right?" That's what most of us say. I can't afford to go to wherever I want to go because it costs too much. How much does it cost? I don't know, too much, right? And so we write it, which takes it out, even though it's one of our dreams. We take it out, we put it way over there. So long story short, he said, "Well, it's we looked it up. It was $2,500 a month, or $2,500 to go, you know, for a week and have fun." And he said, "Well, then that's just $1,200." He said, "You got $2,500." I went, "Nope." He said, "Well, then just $1,200 a year. Why don't you give me 1,200, and then next year I'll come over and get 1,200." I went, "Who's got an extra 1,200?" At 40 some years old, I did not have $1,200 in the bank. What? Well, now it sounds absurd. And so he
That's
broke it
right.
down. He goes, "Well, then that's only $100 a month, Steve." And he said, "Certainly you have $100 a month." And this was my exact response. If I had an extra $100 a month, I'd have bought a big screen TV. See, my
Wow.
head, yeah, my head was way over there.
Priorities. That's
That's right.
right.
It was in the now. Are you living in the now? Okay, so I tell these people that they can, each of their kids can be rich when they get to the age of 60, meaning $500,000.
That's
If they
right.
will just put $100 a month away for the next 10 years for each kid. That's all. Instead of spending all the kids' money on football jerseys and, you know, like you
Frivolous
said,
stuff
eating
on
out,
people who
eating
don't care
out.
about you,
That's right.
who
Doing
don't
all
even
that
know
stuff.
you.
If you'd save that $100 a month for 10 years for your kid, they can have 600, $700,000 when they get to be 60 years old because of the rule of 72 and where you invest your money, right, JR?
That's right. Exactly. I mean, today the average American can't even take care of a $400 emergency because nobody believes in emergency funds.
That's right.
I mean, if COVID didn't teach us anything, it taught us that you need to have some money saved up in the bank, in some type of insurance vehicle, some type of Roth IRA, something. I mean, the government gave you the permission to withdraw money from your 401k without paying any taxes on it. Kind of crazy. I think you need to leave the money there. However, if you don't have that, then what? Everybody is living paycheck to paycheck and nobody wants to listen. No one has learned from COVID-19. Well, let me not say no one. Many have not learned. But then
Yeah,
you have some who actually went out there and took that stimulus check and did some positive things with it. And who had a couple of dollars. They've got something plastered all over Facebook where a mother took her last $5 and so quickly blew up her cupcake business into $1 million business. So hopefully she has some good accountants and financial planners who are helping her with this money and this income and being able to, propel that forward and teach her children about what to do and how to do it for the future. But we as a country, we have got to get our acts together. You're taking that 250 per child tax credit. You do understand that you're taking your tax refund money now. Please don't expect a tax refund at the end of the year when you file. But what are you doing with that 250? $125 a month on your child could put your child in a better situation down the road. You need to be thinking about tomorrow. COVID-19, the coronavirus, all these crazy germs and things are not gone away. You do have those boats, as Steve mentioned, sitting out there in the bay doing absolutely nothing. The docks aren't overloaded. The stores are going empty. I mean, you can't find toilet tissue, you can't find orange juice. Are you serious? It's sitting over there in the ocean. I mean, we're gonna have
that's right.
one of them tea party raids again or something like that. It's just crazy. We need to prepare for tomorrow. Stop buying Jordan. Has Jordan knocked on your
Oh,
door and given you some money? I don't think so. I don't
you
think
know what?
so.
I
Shaq
say
was
that,
smart. He
JR.
shows his sneakers in Walmart. Come on.
Yeah,
Now my
I
kids
say
buy them, but I don't pay for them. They
I
make
say it
80
all the
grand a
time. I
year, so
say
they can afford it.
this: every sports team out there is making a zillion. So you're buying Jordan now. Let's anyway. Whoever's playing now, I'm not a sports person at all, but they make $20 million to
Mm-hmm.
play,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Mm-hmm.
spending an extra $100 for their jersey. And you don't have an extra hundred.
Aren't
I
the
ask people
jerseys
when they
like
go to.
200?
I don't know. See, I have no idea. I just know they're expensive, and for you to buy them is like, okay, so what did you get by wearing, Bob on the back of your
Nothing.
shirt, right? Do you get any money? They
Nothing.
send you a check. When I was
No.
a kid, and I shouldn't say kid, when I was in my 20s, um, we'd be playing softball, and you know what? Coca-Cola guys would show up at the field and give away T-shirts that said Coca-Cola on them. They give them
Mm-hmm.
away because they wanted everybody to wear Coca-Cola T-shirts.
That's right.
Somehow, 5 years down the road, they show up now and sell $20 Coca-Cola T-shirts, and
Cola
people are buying
shirts.
them. Now,
Mm-hmm.
yours might not be Coca-Cola. Yours might be Jordan. Yours might be Nike. Yours, I got something here, Lacoste or something, and I don't buy it because
Yes.
it's got a name on it. I buy it because I like the shirt, and it was at Sam's dirt cheap. Anyway, when
Exactly.
and so I've got, if you're buying stuff that's expensive because it's got somebody's name on it, you spent too much money. Put
Sure
your name
did.
on it. You want to get famous, put your name on it, your
That's
brand, put on
right.
you,
That's right.
and start making like your cupcake business work. Whether now, my friend Bill Walsh said, it's the silent uh, financial killer, which is interest is going up, right?
Yes.
Um, and
Interest, inflation.
all that stuff's going to change your life.
Look at the
And
national
so,
debt of America.
yeah, he says, get a side hustle. Don't just rely on your business. Sell something else over here. Do something else here that's going to make you more money, right?
That's
So,
right.
anyway, that's where we are. We
Something
got
that you
about
like.
another 2 minutes, JR. So if you want to give us some words of wisdom, we'd love to hear from you.
My words of wisdom would be contact me. I work with a fleet of experts with more than 100, 125 years of expertise, and we can help anyone. We can help anyone. There's
And how do
always
they
a
get a hold of
way
you?
to do something. So again, send me a quick text, 813-810-0871. My website, I'll go ahead and give that very quickly. www period WEALTHWAVE.com JEAHNE Davis. That's the
Cool.
website. And you can contact me via there. It's got the work phone, it has my cell phone, and
Now
email
tell us the name of your
address,
website. Tell
everything.
us the name of your website.
The name of the website is WealthWave, and WealthWave Jean Davis. All
There you
righty.
go.
And you'll
Wealth Wave.
find lots of things on there. Again, debt resolution, help you with back taxes, student loans, unsecured debt, anything you've got where you're really wanting to try to move forward. Let us help you. There isn't too much that we can't do. My
Ta-da!
office is your one stop shop financial office.
And here's what I want to remind you too. If you've got debt, credit card debt, almost all of us have credit card debt. Some of us have huge credit card debt. Here's what this is a word of the wise. Never use a debt consolidation firm.
I
Never
agree.
use a debt consolidation firm. So if we leave you
Don't
with
do it.
one thought, I don't care where you're at financially, reach out to JR. That's right. Get the book, How Money Works. Don't stop being a sucker. And we want to help you be a lot more successful financially. JR, it's been a pleasure having you on today.
Thank
We've had
you
our
so
fair
much,
share
Steve.
of interruptions. So if you
Technology.
guys are listening to this, you'll probably hear a few glitches and glatches, and that just means we worked through it and gave you a podcast that can help you find financial stability. This has been Steve Sapato, and I'm with the Happiness Agenda. You can also reach me at speakertalks.com or stevesapatoseminars.com. Look forward to seeing you, working with you, meeting you, having you attend one of our events. Thanks a lot again, JR. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Steve.
God bless.
God bless.